Let's dive in right away with Cory Muscara. I cannot wait to chat with you, Cory, as you full well know. Cory has this wonderful book here, Stop Missing Your Life. Hey, there he is.
What's up, Kim?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here, adjusting your schedule. I know you've got a lot going on. You are creating this amazing new platform that I can't wait to share with all of you at a certain point. Oh, thank you so much. As you know, we're talking about fear. And somebody said, he's handsome. Yeah. Now stay focused, family. So guys, with Cory, I was listening to his book because he was kind enough to send me his book, but I also downloaded the audio book. And I have the digital book, the ebook, because I'm always highlighting and going back and listening to all sorts of things. But Cory has in chapter 6, curiosity, the opposite of fear. And I sent him a text like right away, like, oh my, I'm probably blowing up his phone way too much.
I love it.
Every time something hits me. But I just look like, I feel like I look like what you're saying from that standpoint of curiosity. I feel like I look like I'm curious about things right now. And so that being said, can you walk us through how to flip the script on fear and utilizing curiosity?
Sure. Yeah, I could give a couple of different techniques around this, but let's just talk about that relationship between curiosity and fear in general. Because I do open chapter 6, as you said, talking about how, curiosity is one of the foundational pillars of presence. When we're deeply present with another person, with our life, with things that we're interested in, and conversations with our children, there has to be some quality of gentle interest, curiosity that pulls us toward whatever it is we're trying to be present to. And so as I was thinking about the things that keep us away from presence really showing up to our life, one of the things that came up was fear. And obviously fear is a hugely valuable human emotion. It's protective. It's a signal. It's like probably one of the most primal emotions that we have in terms of alarming us to our environment and what we need to do and precautions we need to take. So I have a big soft spot for fear and its evolutionary role and its present day role. But I think we can also look at various situations in our life when fear gets in the way of showing up fully and being ourselves and taking risks and having a difficult conversation or going for that job. And so this relationship between fear and curiosity emerged because fear is this impulse to turn away, to get small, and it presupposes that there's danger. But curiosity, if you feel into it, like any moment that you've been genuinely curious, it's the impulse to move toward. It's the impulse to explore, and it presupposes that this moment is safe to do that. Little children have this in spades. They're just exploring everything in their environment and looking at people in the eyes and sticking things in their mouths. And obviously, we have to grow out of some of that childlike naivety and innocence. But there's also this beautiful exploration that's inherent to being a child. And so I think what you're touching in, Kim, right now is like you're feeling this curiosity in your life, and it's creating this sense of expansion and trying new things and wanting to explore. So, how do we flip the script on that? When you're noticing that fear arise, one thing that you can just ask yourself is just, what is something that I could be interested in about this situation? What is one way that this might be helping me grow? What is something here that I didn't notice that might be compelling to me? That starts to get the brain, instead of thinking like, what do I have to run away from? What can I move toward? What could be interesting here? So that's just, one example, like in relationship to presence.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you talk about leaning into certain things, that I know is a really big component or proponent in terms of mindfulness. Not beating yourself up for thinking something or feeling something, rather than acknowledging it's here. So, invite it in, lean into it, that sort of thing. Um, how do we do that with fear? And should we have a goal in mind when we're doing that?
Yeah. So I'll give you a 5-step process, and it
Okay.
creates an acronym called NEAT, NEAAT, and we'll break this down.
Okay.
So we imagine a moment of fear arising in any particular context. The first thing that we do with this is just name it. Just name it as fear. And you could even say this to yourself. This is fear. The
Okay.
reason that's important is because fear is just often operating in the background beneath our conscious awareness, and it consumes us, it becomes us. As
Mm-hmm.
soon as we put a label on it, go, this is fear, now
Mm-hmm.
it's something that we can interact with. It's
Mm-hmm.
not something that's hiding. It's like, oh, I see this. This is an emotion. It's not me. It's not all of me. And it's not the only thing happening in this moment. It's just fear. So
Mm-hmm.
the first thing, we just give it a label, fear, name it. Then
Okay.
we go to E, which is to embody it. And this is really to like actually give ourselves a space to feel it. Now, a lot of people might be hearing that and going, that's the last thing I want to do with fear, because fear is
Right.
painful, it's uncomfortable. And maybe we've gotten through these fearful moments sometimes by pushing it aside, compartmentalizing it, pretending it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But as I alluded to in the beginning, fear is a teammate. The human Kim, you are a team in yourself. Cory, I am a team in myself. I have all these different parts of me, like a football team, and those parts serve a similar agenda. They're trying to help us survive, trying to help us be happy, and sometimes the agenda is changing. Right? Sometimes we're like trying to get into a relationship, get a new job. Other times we're trying to stay protected. So different parts are needed at different times.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times with fear, it's like having defense on the field when really we're looking for offense. And it's not that the defense is bad, it's just not on the field. It's out on the field at the wrong time and when we don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
So by feeling it fully, like embodying it, now we're honoring it. We go, okay, cool. This is a part of my experience. Let me have it
Honor
here.
it.
Let me not immediately run away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And connect to it more deeply, because it might be telling me something that I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
So we name it, this is fear. We allow ourselves to feel it so that we're not running away from it. We're not pretending like it's not here. And then we go to the next A, which is to appreciate it. And this is where we go, hey, fear, like, thank you for being here. I know you're trying to help me. I imagine, you're trying to tell me there's something important going on right now. So instead
Uh-huh.
of fighting it, dismissing it, pretending like it doesn't have a role, we're welcoming it into the human experience, appreciating it. And then we go to the next A, which is to ask it, what are you trying to tell me right now? How are you trying to serve me? Acknowledging that it has a positive intention, because nothing would have happened evolutionarily if there wasn't some positive role for it to arise. And so fear has arisen. It has something to tell us, and that's where we get the chance to ask it, like, what are you trying to tell me right now?
Right.
And that's when the fear might say, like, dude, you should not do this. You should not have this conversation. You should not, go there. Like, there could potentially be something dangerous. And that might
Right.
be true. And so we
Mm-hmm.
want that information. We want that data. But other times it might be an outdated pattern. It might be like we're in a relationship and we were hurt before, and we're going into a new relationship and we're getting close to someone, but that fear is arising. And the fear is basically saying, last time you did this, there was
Yeah.
separation and then we were in pain, right?
Right there. I'm sorry to pause you, bro. Guys, did you hear him say it might be an outdated pattern? That's good. That's really good, because I've heard you guys on social media and in our own conversations and things where you'll say, well, I'm not going to do that because I don't want the same cycle and that sort of thing. So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's really important to identify it as an outdated pattern that doesn't
Yeah.
serve you anymore. It's like wearing clothes that are outdated, or an appliance that's not. We don't use a VHS to watch anything anymore.
Right. Right. And yet, in the 90s, the VHS was great. So it served a purpose at a particular point in time. It's just running the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hold on, Corey. We got a tech. Hold on, Corey. We got a tech thing. Can you wait? Wait. Can you? I know, guys. I know. Corey, hop out and come back in. Yep. Okay. Good. All right. So he'll be right back, and we'll pick it back up where he was talking about the letter T from his acronym. Okay. So just give him a second to come back in. But I'm still glad I see all of your comments. I see all of you guys helping one another. I see everybody bringing in their own truth. I feel like this is something that you guys definitely, it's resonating with you. So I'm thrilled about that. So hold on, we're going to get him back in the room in a second. He was, making sure that his Wi-Fi was okay. But I'm thrilled again that you guys are here, that you are enjoying this conversation. And again, his book is called Stop Missing Your Life. And we're just talking about chapter 6 in terms of fear. Again, talking with Erica Strong earlier, and being able to work through fear, see it, identify it, and be able to not run from it, but move with it. So, okay, I think Corey's back now. Stand by. Hey there.
Hey, I don't know what happened. I'm
It's
sorry, everyone.
okay. It's all right. So you were talking about the T.
Yeah, yeah. And so this is just the acknowledgement that this fear is nothing more than an emotion. There's nothing that is literally creating a wall between us and what we want to do in this moment. It's just the intensity of that discomfort of fear. And so having gone through these first few steps of naming it, embodying it, appreciating it, and then asking what it's trying to tell us, once we have that data, then it's just time to take a step anyway.
Mm-hmm.
um, and that the reason that's so important is that it's a muscle. It's a muscle to be able to feel something uncomfortable and move forward anyway. There's no hack around this. There's not a pill. There might be some pills that help with this, but there's not going to be good long term.
Right.
In terms of like achieving the life that we want and taking important steps, it requires being able to feel discomfort and move forward anyway. And so
Yeah.
we just ask, like, what is one step I can take in the direction that I want to go? And I do it while I'm feeling this fear. And the more we
Yes.
do that, just the easier it gets.
Yeah. It's like Erica said earlier, do it afraid,
Yeah, yeah, I
because you'll
love that.
find that it starts to suck the life out of that fear. It starts to suck the power out. It starts to let it dissipate. And then you're able to move in a lot more strength, in a lot more boldness, a lot more courage, a lot more information about yourself,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, big time. And for anyone hearing this,
Mm-hmm.
because all stuff is sometimes from the comfort of our home, watching two people talk about it on the phone, and it's just like, yeah, I could totally do this. And then when it comes time to do it,
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there. But did you notice the some buzzwords that both Erica and Cory mentioned? Okay. They both said surrendering to it, right? They both said acknowledging it. So that's really important. That's kind of a recurrence here, you know, being able to not run from it, but acknowledge it, being able to uh, recognize it for what it is. And again, how much power you give to it or not, you know. Before we finish up, and thank you so much. I see all of your compliments. Thank you. I really appreciate it. When I don't know what's wrong with the sound. I don't work for IG or Wi-Fi world. I'm trying like everybody else. Maybe everybody's on IG right now, but we're gonna get him back and we're gonna work through this to finish out and finish strong, as Erica would say. But one thing I do want to talk to him about is being able to hold on. I'll just tell him now when he comes back into the room. And thank you for all of you who said I look like my mommy. Hi, hon.
Hey, Kim, I don't know what's going on. Fear is a big energy. It must be breaking.
You're right,
breaking
exactly.
circuits.
They don't want us to get this information out. How dare you?
I know.
So one thing that when you were talking about, it's great to, you know, be basically, how do we do this in real time? You know,
Yeah.
because at this point, it's easy, quote unquote, when ain't nothing going on, ain't nothing happening to be fearful of in terms of like that real time thing. Yes, we know there's kind of this looming sense of these are uncertain times and like that. But in real time, how you put all this together?
Yeah. Well, I'll give one very simple thing that people can do that's pretty powerful. And it's often context dependent, meaning where the fear is specifically arising because we're anticipating the worst case scenario that could be happening. And so like, let's just say having a difficult conversation with our partner, and we just feel like, man, if I bring this up, they're going to be resentful. They're going to be pissed at me. Well, what would happen? What would be the
Um, ah, somebody said the devil don't want this healing to go through. You are so right. You are so right. Okay, so, and because Cory and I have talked about this before, I know where he was going with some of this. Um, Basically, you know, he was saying that don't look at whatever the situation is from that worst case scenario. And this is one thing I really love about Cory's teachings is that he does it from a sense of giving you a whole different perspective. He gives you another lens to look through. And so in this moment, he was saying, find the way to say, okay, what would be the best case scenario right now? What would be the best case? Cory Muscara is his name. Go to my post or my story and you'll see him tagged there. Okay. And so you want to be able to maybe explore the situation from, well, what's the best case scenario that could happen? What's the best thing? And not let the fear make you go, okay, what's the worst that's going to happen? And then start believing it. Again, it's the truth, you know, looking at your truth and determining what's my truth in this moment. We're going to try one last time to try to get this last point out. Hi. Okay, go.
We'll wrap it up, and then I'm sorry, everyone. I know how frustrating this can be, but yeah, the simple thing is, like, notice the images and the thoughts going on in your mind when you're experiencing fear. Usually, the mind is anticipating the worst case scenario, everything that can go wrong, people looking at you weird, saying bad things, and just flip that script and say, if this were to go amazingly well, what would it look like? What would be happening? How would I feel? And let the excitement override the fear. And that's one way that we can change the physiological experience of fear and anxiety into one that's actually more exciting.
Oh. Okay. So I think you guys got that last point, though. You know, always looking at it from, and our mind is so crazy where it's like, well, what's the worst that could happen? And that's what you start going with. Flip the script and figure out what's the best that can happen. What's the best thing? And did you guys catch it when he said, let your excitement about what the best case scenario is start to override the fear? Now, that's not to say that that best case scenario is going to happen all the time or anything like that. But you want to be able to have a tool or two in your pocket to help you navigate through this. Okay. Cory and I may do a session offline, record it, and just put it here so that you can get all of this. But just know that Cory's going to be doing a 7-day challenge. So definitely follow him on his IG, which is at Cory Muscara. He's got a fantastic YouTube channel where he's got a wonderful 21-day meditation that I've done, but also the 7-day is going to be there very, very soon, and this phenomenal platform that he's working on. I also find him, you guys have probably seen the stories that I post through Asana Rebel or Asana Rebel, which is a yoga app that I use, but it's yoga, it's fitness, it's meditations, and Cory handles all of their meditation content. It's phenomenal. Trust me when I say it's phenomenal. There he just sent a text on here. He says, sorry, everyone, all links on my profile at Cory Muscara. All right, so be sure to find him and follow him and everything, because it's really, he's a game changer. He and Erica are game changers for your mind, for your spirit, for your body, everything. Because of course what happens here and then in here affects, it comes out, all the good and all the bad. So it's definitely an experience for the mind, body, spirit. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Cory. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you for being here today. And again, remember, we got this. We got this, you guys. We got this, okay? We got you, okay? Follow Refresh by KF. Thank you to my team with Refresh by KF. Yes, we will post about him and Erica, and make sure that this is an ongoing conversation, just like last month it was the power of words. Certain things are not just relegated to the month and a monthly theme. Some things are ongoing conversations that have to be a part of our narrative if we're going to do this thing right and do this thing in a way that's healthy, where we're really embracing our wellness and understanding that that's really important. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you very, very much. Be mindful of what's going on in here. Be even more aware and look at ways that you can flip the script so that there's more positivity. There's less power that we give to fear, and have a phenomenal weekend. All right. Oh, and oh my goodness, do we have some amazing things in store for you for this upcoming week. Woo! Signature Blends by Kim Fields. We've got a spectacular collection that's dropping next week in honor of fall. Fall is my favorite season, so we've got a great collection that's coming your way. We've got some great guests coming on that for the one cup at a time conversation series. So we've got some really great things coming your way. Next week's Refresh Conversations next Saturday is going to be tremendous. We're going to continue talking about fear and dealing with it. Send us some praise reports, family. Pop us in the DM and tell us, you know, what you've put into practice after hearing from Cory, after hearing from Erica, and how you have flipped the script. So you are welcome. Hi, Dana. So you guys are most welcome for this. Thank you for letting me know how this has affected you guys and the impact that it's having for you. So